Hey, how's it going? Today we're going to be learning about buttons, which is probably a good thing if you're going to go for a website. Alright, I just increased my stage size. You don't have to do it, but down in the timeline, create two new layers. Layer 1 is the content layer. Layer 2, button, or buttons. And layer 3, actions. For buttons and actions layer, we're going to increase it to excuse me, increase it to layer 20, F5. For a content layer, we're going to insert a keyframe at frames 5, 10, 15, and we're going to increase 15 to 20. Now in the buttons layer at frame 1, we're going to select our type tool and type, let's see, much better. Going to select we're going to make by the way, on your buttons layer, these are going to be your buttons, so you're going to type buttons that you want. So for the sake of doing this, I'm going to do Alright, once you got your 4 text objects on the stage, we are going to convert them to buttons. But before we do that, to make things a little more organized, I have the align window down here. If you don't have it, then go to Window, and align is right here. Mine's checked because I've had it checked. Alright. In the align window, you can basically align objects or text according to your preference. We're going to align it to the left and distribute vertical center. Now it looks a little more organized. I'm going to move it down though because I don't know, I'm a little picky. Anyway, down, alright, we're going to select each text. We are going to convert them to buttons. So red button. And the shortcut or the hotkeys for converting to symbol is FN F8 if you're on a Mac, and I think it's just F8 if you're on PC. I could be wrong, but don't blame me because I have not worked on a Flash program on PC before. I'm going a little fast, I'm sorry, but I have work at 1, and I'd rather do it now than forget about it later. Alright, so you got each of these are buttons. Now, this is important. Up here in the properties window, when you select your button, there's a little space right here called instance name. You're going to type in, if you're doing red, blue, green, yellow, you're going to type in red_btn. It's important because this is a part of the coding for later. So red btn, and just go down the line, and you have to be aware of your spelling because if you spell wrong in the coding, then it's not going to work. Alright, got the instance name done. Now, we're just going to do buttons for right now, but in the future I'll show you how to make them work. We're going to double click on red, and your timeline changes. Now, the thing is, scene 1 is the main scene. It's where everything, happens. When you double click on a button, you go to the time frame of the button. So this is the button by itself. Down here is the timeline, up, over, down, hit. So up, this is the way it looks like when you haven't scrolled over it or hit it or anything. It's the default. We're going to insert keyframes on over, down, and hit. So 6, 6, 6. Now over on the over frame, this is the frame where what your button will look like when you have your cursor over it. So we're going to switch colors. Since mine is red, it'll be red. Now this is the down panel. We're going to select a different color, and this is the hit area. Now pay attention. The hit frame is just for the one button. This is where you want your button to change color or to do whatever when your cursor goes over a certain area. So we're going to take the box tool. We're going to make a box tightly over red. So you'll see that. Now we are going to hit Command Return, or I think it's Control Enter, to go into preview. You'll see we have the buttons. The buttons, you can tell, are buttons when your cursor goes over and your cursor changes to something like this hand. You can click on it, but it won't do anything because we haven't done anything to these ones. But for this one, because we switched the color in the over frame, the button will change color. When we click on it, it'll change to that dark red color because we changed the color of it down here. And because we put the hit frame completely tightly over red, it won't change when I move my cursor down here. So you can basically do that to any of the buttons. So now that we're done with that, we can do it to the other ones. Come on, there we go. And always remember to save. It's something I probably should have done. I'm not going to save it because I have done this numerous amounts of times. So, always save when you're working. It's another thing you should know as a designer or whatever if you work on computers. Once again, if I work fast, I'm sorry, but I have work at 1 o'clock and it's currently 12:25. I think I'm in the clear, but I don't know yet. So, there we go.